Hey everybody, Alden here, and welcome to another installment of Alden Explores, my YouTube channel where I publish videos about my solo travels exploring the world around us. I recently came back from a trip to Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, so come join me in exploring the sights, the sounds, and flavors of the capital of the Dominican Republic. Let's go. And we are back. Those of you who have watched my videos before on my channel, thank you, by the way. Maybe noticing that there is a little bit of format change. I am doing all of the audio commentary and the introductory videos and the outro videos from home in Chicago post-production. A couple of reasons here. Number one, I forgot this little microphone, which impacted number two, which is I did try and do video while I was in Santo Domingo, but there is a lot of traffic in Santo Domingo. And when I watched the footage back, all I could hear was honking and honking and honking in the background. And I just wanted there to be clean audio for you guys. So when you think of the Dominican Republic, or if you think about the Dominican Republic and its geography and where it is, sort of, you think of this. This is Hispaniola. It's a super big island in the Caribbean. The eastern half of it is the Dominican Republic. The western half is Haiti. A lot of people know the Dominican Republic for Punta Cana, which is a very cool kind of beachy resort kind of deal. Um, Also in the Dominican Republic, but those of you that know me would know that I would never go to a beach resort in the Caribbean. So that's one of the reasons how I ended up in Santo Domingo, which is incredibly rich in history and culture and all of these things. Uh, so the other sort of motivation to get me to Santo Domingo was how I got there. For the very first time, I decided to fly JetBlue. I went in very open minded about JetBlue, and I came out of it totally disgusted. It's shambolic. Do not fly JetBlue. So there were problems going and coming back, but I'm just going to describe briefly the problems going. I was supposed to. My itinerary had me leaving Thursday morning at 6 a.m., flying to JFK, staying for a couple hours in JFK, and then transferring onto a flight to Santo Domingo, which would get me to Santo Domingo around 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. It's sort of a case of what you want to do isn't going to be what you're going to do kind of thing. So I, of course, in order to get to the 6 a.m. flight with all of TCA things, I had to be at the airport around 3, which means I had to wake up at 1. Um, Got to the airport. We all boarded the plane. That's when they decided to do a mechanical check. They ended up having to run an engine check, which means we all had to deboard the plane. And then waiting 2 hours after that, seeing all of the crew come off basically meant that the flight was canceled, and it ended up being canceled. Scrambling on the helpline with JetBlue, their solution was to fly me out later that afternoon, like 12 hours later, to Logan, Boston Logan, transfer to a flight to San Domingo in Boston that will get me to San Domingo around like 3. Of course, when I get to Boston, the flight to San Domingo is also late, and I end up getting to Santo Domingo, I would say around 5. By the time I checked into the hotel, it's 5:30, 5:45. I just stayed up the 45 minutes more and had the breakfast, then took a nap. I'm telling you all of this because sort of going to bed at 5:45 the next day, I ended up taking a nap until 2 p.m. and I got up, and that's sort of where the footage picks up, 2 p.m. on the following day after I initiated my travel to Santo Domingo. So I hope you enjoy the footage and my experiences in Santo Domingo. You see a lot of the video of all the things I did in this kind of historic, culturally rich place. I have a lot of thoughts about it. Yeah, so enjoy. Thanks. So I wake up at the afternoon of my first day in Santo Domingo and decide to go out, and I decided to visit the Cultural Plaza of Santo Domingo, which is the campus of museums. I visited on the first day the Modern Art Museum. I love a great modern art museum. I spent a couple hours there, and unfortunately, the museums within the campus closed at around 5. So it's the only thing I got to visit, but I'm super glad. And you can see all the wonderful art that is available inside of Domingo here. I began my second day by making my way to Tres Ojos National Park, which is actually in the middle of Santo Domingo. And what it's really famous for are these subsurface level caverns with lakes. And the water was so eerily clear and beautiful. And you can see all of that in this video footage. Near to the national park, in this brutalist structure, is the Christopher Columbus Lighthouse, where some of his remains can still be found. One of the things that I really wanted to do when I was traveling this time is really be open minded about some of the things that I was going to eat, only because I'm not a fan of food from the tropics. One of those things is plantains. And so every morning there was this thing called mango, which was green plantains that was sort of prepared like, I guess, like a bread pudding. And so I tried some of it, and you can see the video of me here eating it. It was served with really, really astringent red onion. After breakfast, I went back to Cultural Plaza and visited two museums: the Museum of Natural History and the Museum of the Dominican Man, which is sort of an ethno-cultural museum documenting the history of humans on Hispaniola. So this footage will show you all the cool things I got to see when I visited those two museums. Later that afternoon, there was a National Carnival parade. It was such an amazing combination of sights, sounds, colors. So I'm going to stop talking and turn the native audio back on so you can be in the moment like I was and experience this amazing cultural expression. My last stay in Santo Domingo was probably my favorite because I finally had time to explore the colonial zone. The zone's significance and the history of the Americas is incomparable. Um, and it's obvious that the government recognizes this because it seems like they put a lot of resources into maintaining the area. They close off a bunch of the street traffic, so you really have the ability to embed yourself in the colonial zone in relative quiet and sort of contextualize this zone and its place all the way back from 1492 until the present. I really enjoyed it. Here's some footage for you. I'm going to end this video on kind of a down note. The amount of trash in Santo Domingo is appalling. This is a video clip of one of the beaches along the Malecon that's just strewn with styrofoam food containers, plastic waste. Following is a clip of one of the parks, which is actually well maintained and to the point where they're sweeping up leaves in the morning. I wish the government would take a consistent approach and maybe not focus on cleaning leaves, but rather just cleaning all of the plastic and styrofoam waste from the beaches. So it's just not so sad. So that's my thought. So that is a wrap on another Alden Explores video. My time in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. You did a lot of interesting things, a lot of observations, a lot of takeaways. Would I ever go back to Dominican Republic? Probably not. Definitely not if I have to fly JetBlue. But I kind of you can't ever say you don't like something if you've never tried it. I definitely took time to try Dominican Republic. Very interesting. Thank you again for watching my video. If you just found this video and you don't know me personally, you just, the algorithm delivered the video to you. I do have an Instagram where I post more pictures, like still pictures of my travel. You can find it here. Thank you so much again for joining me on another one of my adventures around the world. Ciao.